Hello. Yesterday we looked at the relationship between fractions and decimals. So I'm just going to recap over that, and then we're going to look at what happens when decimals are more than one whole one. So this is my 100 square. So it's been split. Well, you can actually say it's been split in different ways. It's been split into hundredths, but you can also see the blue lines. You can say that it's also been split into tenths as well. So if I was to write this as a fraction, you can see that I've got 3 whole tenths and then I've got 7 hundredths. So that's 37 squares that I've coloured all together out of 100 altogether. So that is 37 hundredths. And you can see that I've got 1, 2, 3 tenths. I've also got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hundredths. So 37 hundredths as a decimal. Well, I've not got a whole one. So I put my 0 there, that's my placeholder. It tells me that I've got no ones. I then put my 3 in the tenths column, and I put my 7 in the hundredths column. So 37 hundredths is equivalent to 0.37. Now today we're going to be looking at using place value counters to help us with our learning. Ta-da! And here's what I've got here. So what number have I made here? Let's see. We've got no whole ones. Then we put our decimal point in. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've got 7 tenths. And we've got 1, 2, 3 hundredths. If I was to add another tenth, that new number would now become 0.83. See, I added 1/10 to this column, so we've added 1/10 to my 10th column. Let's add another tenth. I've now made the number, can you say it before me? 0.93. Notice that my hundredths column didn't change, so the digit remains a 3, the 3 hundredths, and then I've got 9 tenths here now, so I've got 9 in my tenths column. So let's make a new number. I'm now going to take a 1 and I'm going to put it in this column. So what is my new number now? Let's see if you're right. We've got 1 whole one. So that goes in the ones column. Then we've got our decimal point. We've still got 9 tenths. And we've got 3 hundredths. Let's do some more when we've got more than 1 whole one. Can you say that number? This number would be 1.25. If we look at the number that we have made, 1.25, what is the value of this digit here? What is the value of digit 2? You've got 2 options. You could say the value of that 2 is 2 tenths, if you wanted to give your answer as a fraction, or what you could do, if you wanted to give your answer as a decimal, you could say 0.2. They would both be correct. Let's do another number. Let's try this number. How would you say this? We've got 2 whole ones. We've got 4 tenths. And we've got 8 hundredths. Now, if I was to ask you what the value of the 8 digit was, what would you say? You've got 2 options. You could say the value of the digit 8 is 8 hundredths, because they're in the 8 counters, the 8 hundredths counters are in the hundredths column. Or you could give your answer as a decimal number, and you could say 0.08. That's the value of this digit here. Let's do another one. What number have I created now? Think very carefully about this one. We've got 110, 4 ones. My decimal point goes in. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tenths. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hundredths. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you the value of every single digit. Let's see if I can change my color. So the value of the 1 is 10. The value of the 4 is just 4 ones. The value of the digit 7 is 7 tenths. It's in the tenths column. And I'm going to give my answer as decimals. So it'd be 0.7. And the value of the 8 digit is 8 hundredths. So it would be 0.08. So for your activities today, you're going to have examples like this, where you'll have the place value grid with the place value counters, and you'll need to tell us how many ones there are, how many tenths, how many hundredths, and then you'll have to write what the decimal number is in here. Gets a little bit more challenging for challenge 2, because for challenge 2 you're going to get some decimal numbers, and just like I've just shown you, one of the digits will be underlined. So you will need to write the value of the digit that has been underlined. And you can give your answer as a fraction or as a decimal. And think very carefully about which column it's in, which place value column the digit is in. And for challenge 3 today, you've got this. Eva is asked to show 10 tenths on a place value chart. Here's her answer. Is she correct? So if she is correct, can you explain why she is correct? And if she's not, can you explain why Eva is incorrect? Good luck.